Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets hidden inside company filings. Get ready because today CureVac's latest report is dropping some serious financial news and it looks like a real roller coaster from here to 2025. So what's the big deal with this report? This isn't your typical quarterly update, it's a Form 6K, a report of a foreign private issuer with a lot of key updates for investors. Think of it as a company giving the SEC a heads up on important stuff that's happening behind the scenes. In this case, CureVac is sharing their unaudited interim condensed consolidated financial statements and a deep dive into how they're doing. Let's get into the juicy details. Alright, first things first, let's look at the numbers for the second quarter and the first half of the year. We're comparing 2020 failed data to 2024 so we can see the trajectory. It's crucial to see if they're moving forward or backward. Looking at retained earnings, we see the figures for June 30, 2025 and also for December 31, 2024 and June 30, 2024. And June 30, 2024, retained earnings are basically the profits a company has kept over time that haven't been paid out to shareholders. Seeing how these change tells us a lot about whether the company is reinvesting in itself and growing or if it's struggling to make profits. Next up, issued capital. Let's check the numbers. This relates to the money the company raised by selling its stock. Comparing the June 2025 figures to the previous years gives us insight into how much equity financing they've done and if they've brought in new investors or issued more shares. And now for capital reserves. These are also part of a company's equity but represent things like the excess amount received when issuing shares above their nominal value. Tracking these helps us understand the quality of a company's equity base. Now let's talk about some key players in CureVac's world. We see mentions of BIOS EN Tex SC. This is important because it signals potential collaboration or competitive relationships. Understanding these dynamics from the company's perspective is key to grasping their strategic positioning. We also see references to CureVac N.V itself naturally, but it's how they position themselves in relation to others that provides the real insight. These mentions often hint at business strategies, partnerships, or even a changing market landscape. Here we see discussions around share options. This is all about how CureVac compensates its employees and executives. They talk about options for supervisory board members, executive board members, and key employees. This tells us about their incentive structures and how much they rely on stock-based compensation, which aligns employee interests with shareholder value. We see different plans like the long-term incentive plan and restricted stock unit awards. Moving on to operating expenses, let's look at selling and distribution expenses. These are the costs associated with marketing and selling CureVac's products. We see these figures broken down for the second quarter and the first half of both 2020-2024. It's essential to see if these costs are growing faster or slower than revenue. And alongside those, we have other operating expenses. This is a broader category that can include all sorts of administrative and general business costs. Again, comparing these periods helps us gauge efficiency of operations. Research and development is obviously a huge part of any biotech company and CureVac is no exception. We see RD services and also RD services combined with IP licenses noted here. This signifies their focus on innovation and potentially on leveraging intellectual property, which is the lifeblood of this industry. Finally, for the expenses section, let's check out cost of sales. This is pretty straightforward. It represents the direct costs attributable to the production of goods or services sold by the company. Watching cost of sales relative to revenue tells us a lot about their gross profit margins. We see a mention of country Switzerland. This could indicate operations, research partnerships, or regulatory filings within Switzerland. The location of RD activities can be very telling about talent pools and research ecosystems. Similarly, we have country Belgium. This could point to manufacturing sites, clinical trial locations, or key collaborations in Belgium. Geographic diversification of operations is often a strategic move. And here we have an explicit mention of GlaxoSmithKline. This is a very significant partnership or relationship. GlaxoSmithKline is a giant in the pharmaceutical world. Any mention of them in CureVac's filing is usually related to collaborations, licensing agreements, or manufacturing deals. This is absolutely a key relationship to watch. We also see a reference to CRISPR. This technology is revolutionary in gene editing, and its inclusion here suggests CureVac is involved or interested in this cutting-edge field. It could signal future product development or strategic partnerships in this area. This tag relates to revenue recognition over a period for goods or services. Understanding this helps us see how CureVac books its income from ongoing contracts or services. Conversely, this tag is for revenue recognized at a specific point in time, usually upon delivery of a product or completion of a service. We see this R&D expense item again. This is a critical metric for any biotech firm. It's the money they spend on discovering and developing new products and technologies. High R&D spending usually means a company is investing heavily in its future pipeline. And then we have general and administrative expenses, including those related to IFRS, which is the International Accounting Standard. This covers the costs of running the company, not directly tied to production or R&D like management salaries and office expenses. The mention of scenario forecast is really interesting. It suggests the company is looking ahead and modeling different potential outcomes for its business. This is often done for strategic planning and risk assessment. And if I was full top of range member and if I was full bottom of range member, these indicate that CureVac might be providing financial guidance or estimates within a certain range. This is common practice for companies to give investors an idea of expected performance. We also see the specific date, June 12, 2025, appearing multiple times. Dates like these in SEC filings often refer to the date of specific events, such as board approvals, press releases, or important announcements that are being disclosed. The mention of legal proceedings provision is very important. It means CureVac is setting aside money to cover potential costs from lawsuits or legal disputes. The dates specified here, July 2024 and May 2024, tell us these provisions are being updated or reassessed for those periods. Finally, we see largest shareholder member. This tells us the company is disclosing information about who its biggest investors are. Knowing who controls a significant chunk of the company can be a major indicator of stability and strategic direction. Okay, let's zoom out. CureVac is clearly navigating a complex landscape. They are actively reporting on collaborations like with GlaxoSmithKline and looking towards future growth with RD investments and involvement in areas like CRISPR and by ENTech-C. The share option disclosures show a focus on incentivizing their team. However, the presence of legal provisions suggests they are also managing potential headwinds. My take, if these financial results, especially those retained earnings capital reserves and RD spend, show robust growth and smart investment, CureVac could be on a strong upward trajectory. But if expenses are outpacing revenue or if those legal provisions are substantial, it could signal challenges ahead. Investors may bind pan out and how effectively they're translating their RD efforts into tangible products. The stock-based compensation signals confidence in the future, but needs to be balanced with profitability. All right, that's our decoding of CureVac's latest filing. What are your thoughts on their strategy and these financial indicators? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown useful, give us a like and remember to subscribe for more in-depth corporate analysis. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for more exclusive content and discussions. Thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next episode.